Hello, my name is Emma Kate Howard, and I have panic disorder, a mental illness. I first started having panic attacks around the beginning of my 7th grade year, and luckily I was able to recognize all of the symptoms quite quickly, and almost immediately I went in search of help. Although, being a 12-year-old girl with an iPhone, one of the first places that I looked for help was the internet. Now, blogs and social media accounts focused around self-care and mental health did help me to understand and cope with my anxiety until I came across a series of posts like this one, claiming that people with higher creativity are more likely to suffer from anxiety and mood disorders, or vice versa, that mentally ill people are more likely to be artistic and creative. Now, I know there are many, many examples of this. All of us can think of prominent figures in the arts that did indeed struggle with their mental health. People like Van Gogh, people like Virginia Woolf, Edgar Allan Poe, and more recently, Robin Williams. Still, though, I struggle to understand where this idea came from. I know that for me, I've always felt the least creative when my anxiety was highest, and the most creative when I was functioning on little to no anxiety. In fact, it always seems like these were forces pulling against each other. And science seems to agree. Meet Simon Kyaga, senior consultant in psychiatry and researcher at the Karolinska Institute in Stockholm, Sweden. He, along with some of his colleagues, conducted a 40-year study of over 1.2 million people in which they found that people in artistic and scientific occupations were not more likely to suffer from any psychiatric disorders, with the exception of bipolar disorder, which only showed a small bump of 8% anyway. In fact, all of the evidence we have supporting the claim that mental illnesses are somehow linked to creativity is anecdotal evidence. It's all gossip and hearsay, and occasionally some examples of people who happen to be both artistic and mentally ill. Researchers agree that mental illness is neither necessary nor sufficient for creativity, and I think we already know that. In fact, I want to show you something. If you could go to Google Images for me, and type in creativity. These are the results we get. We get bright colors, interesting designs, crazy patterns. Now, if you could go back to the top and type in depression. When we type in a common mental health issue, we get almost the opposite results. We get a bunch of blacks and whites and grays, and seemingly the same picture of people crying over and over again. You can go ahead and go back to my slides. Thing is, that difference doesn't just show up in some pictures on Google. You see, creative thinking is built on novelty. It's new, it's exciting, it's fun. Meanwhile, mental illnesses are characterized by monotony. We diagnose psychiatric disorders based on a series of repetitive and predictable patterns of symptoms. Gosh. It's difficult to even experience creative thinking and symptoms of mental illness at the same time, never mind have them working together. So, why? Why am I telling you this? Why does this little piece of information matter? Well, many mentally ill people will see posts like the one I showed earlier and begin to think that their illnesses and disorders are helping them. People begin to believe that negative thinking patterns are leading them to be better artists or more creative. In fact, many people refuse any types of treatment for any type of mental health issues because they don't want to lose their creativity. 1 in 4 people will suffer from some kind of mental illness at some point in their lifetime. And the vast majority of anxiety and mood disorders set in during teens and early adulthood. My fellow high school students, that's you. That's you and your peers and your friends dealing with this right now. And I want all of you to stay safe, get help if you're struggling, and get your facts straight. Thank you.
Good job.